You cannot talk about classic Greek food without mentioning souvlaki. It's a delicious marinated kebab that is grilled to perfection, so juicy, so tender. You will love this. And plus, we are going to make a homemade tzatziki sauce right on the side. We do need to start off with a little bit of prep when it comes to that marinade. Sound good? Let's cook.
We're going to bring out some boneless, skinless chicken breast. You could also use deboned thigh and leg meat in this recipe if you'd like. The goal for cutting it is to make it into small, bite-sized pieces that will fit on a skewer. What my recommendation is to cut them into a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick cubed pieces. We're going to set them to the side in a large bowl, which is also going to hold our marinade. And don't forget, because you just cut up raw chicken on your cutting board and with your knife, give them a good scrub down with some hot water and soap. And now for the marinade, beginning with a 1/2 red onion. We're going to slice it in half, and then what we want to do is thinly julienne it. Once you get to about 3/4 of the way, I like to roll the onion over just like that to make sure it's stable on the cutting board and doesn't rock back and forth. For the garlic cloves, you have a few options. You can simply smash them with a knife like I'm doing. You can roughly chop them, or you can even run them through a garlic press. I think because we're marinating for quite a while, the bigger pieces will work great. Add them to the bowl with chicken and sliced red onions. And the next thing we need to do is get some acid in there, beginning with some fresh squeezed lemon juice. We will be using the juice of 1 whole lemon in this recipe, but if you really like lemon, you can add another 1/2 slice as well. For some more flavor, a little bit of red wine vinegar, followed up with adding on some very good extra virgin olive oil. Now for the herbs, I've got some dry oregano, which is a necessity, and then optionally you can add in some rosemary or thyme or both. We're going to season it up very well with some salt and of course some fresh cracked black pepper. Now using your hands, whether they're clean or have a glove on or even a rubber spatula, take the time to completely combine all of these ingredients. You want all of that goodness to touch every little square centimeter of each piece of chicken. And once everything is combined, we're going to wrap it up with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator overnight.
Now, you would classically be using pork or lamb when it comes to a traditional souvlaki, but in the last 100 years or so, beef and chicken have become popularized. I use it here because, well, my family doesn't like pork or lamb for some reason, but they do like chicken. So that's why I did it. But the marinade stays the exact same. And when I say marinate overnight, I simply mean whenever you are putting it together, maybe it's the afternoon, maybe it's the morning, maybe it's the nighttime, leave it overnight in the refrigerator, and the next day, whatever time that is, you take it out and you grill it. There's no perfect science. It needs to be 12 hours, it needs to be 24 hours. Within that time period, you are going to be all good. At least 4 hours, though. You're going to get some flavor in 4 hours, but at least do it then. Here's what we do now.
Now to make that delicious tzatziki sauce, we are going to start off with a cucumber, which we need to peel up on all sides. Once it is completely peeled, simply slice off the ends, and then what we want to do is slice it in half long ways. Using a spoon, carve out all of the seeds. I wish I could tell you I have another recipe which you could use these cucumber seeds in, but I'm fresh out of ideas. If you have any, please let me know. Slice that half cucumber in half to make it easier to grate. And then we are going to grate them right onto some parchment paper or a plate, just whatever is easiest to transfer it. Once it is completely grated, this looks fantastic, we are going to take our shredded cucumber, right over to a colander in a bowl. We are going to transfer it onto there because what we want to do as soon as it's in there is take the time to season it up well with some salt and move it around a little bit. We're going to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes just to excrete as much water as possible so it doesn't make our tzatziki sauce runny. Now for the tzatziki sauce, I've got a bowl of very full fat Greek yogurt. We are going to add on some very delicious extra virgin olive oil. Next, we are going to put a garlic clove through a garlic press. And if you've been watching me for a while, then you already know this is my love. Next, squeeze the juice of 1/2 lemon in. I like to hold my other hand in place to catch any seeds just to make sure while it runs through my fingers. Let's go over back to the cucumbers and squeeze as much juice out of them as possible. Again, if you leave that in there, it's going to make our sauce really runny. This is great. Let's add it to the bowl with the yogurt, garlic, and olive oil. And now we're going to add optionally some fresh dill. You could also add fresh mint, a combination of both, one or the other, or none at all. And then, of course, we want to season it up very well with salt and fresh cracked black pepper. Next, whisk until completely combined. Once everything is whisked together, keep it in the refrigerator until it's ready to use. And at that same time, grab your marinated chicken out of the refrigerator. It's been in there for about 16 hours. Overnight is fine. This looks excellent. What we want to do now is skewer this up. You can use metal skewers or wooden skewers, but if you do use wooden skewers, soak them in water for about 30 minutes so they don't catch on fire while on the hot grill. Now the goal when it comes to skewering these is to pack them in tight. This will help seal in juices and make the meat that much more tender and that much more delicious. Once you've completely placed as much chicken as the skewer can possibly hold without overstuffing it and falling over the outside edges, we're going to set it to the side on a sheet tray lined with parchment paper and repeat the process until all the chicken has been skewered. Then we're going outside to a very hot grill in between 450 and 550 degrees. Lay the skewers directly on the grill about a 1/2 inch to an inch apart from one another. And they're only going to take about 4 to 5 minutes on each side for them to completely cook. After the 4 to 5 minute time, just flip them over using some tongs. Be careful because that grill is going to be very, very hot. After they are finished cooking, we're going to remove the chicken souvlaki skewers right from the grill, and we're going to let them rest for about 5 to 6 minutes before serving them up.
I always do come back to it, and that's really because these fundamental basics are so important. Putting them into practice over and over again until you perfect them, it will make you such a better cook and home chef. For sure the best on the block and for sure the best in your family. So when you put them into practice and apply them to all of your homemade food from scratch, it's just going to be that much better. Knowing how to properly marinate, I mean grilling them to perfection, pushing all that meat together to make sure they're juicy and that all the flavors hold together. It's crucial, my friends. So now that everything's done, we got a few more things when it comes to plate up. I'm going to show you how to do it right now.
I'm going to serve up my souvlaki skewers right on some parchment paper. And next, this is optional, but for some more flavor and more color, I'm going to sprinkle on some fresh oregano leaves. And then 100% do not forget to serve up our delicious homemade tzatziki on the side of these chicken souvlaki.
Delicious, tender, incredibly easy to make. And when it comes to cooking, usually simplicity means absolutely amazing and elegant. Same goes for this. If you love this recipe and learned something, definitely like and share this video and check out this recipe right here. I made it for you. We'll see you on there.